Hello, good morning. Madunggan ko. Miss Salvo, is my voice clear and audible? Hello. How about now? Maklaro ako tingog? Okay, we will start in a few moments. We will start in a few minutes. Good morning, Jade Bryle and Lizelle. Mapay naka-login. Good morning, Miss Onishi and Milet. Is my audio audible sa inyo dihang apart? Again, is my voice clear sa inyong side, Miss Onishi and Miss Pabiliore? Please comment if madunggan ang akong voice. Okay, very good. Naka-reply. Meaning kusog inyong signal. Loud and clear. Okay, ulatan sa nato ang uban napay 5 pa ka buok ang naka-login. Good morning, Miss Ladari. Okay, nakasulod na si Miss Salazar. Good morning. Okay, let's start. Ma-post ra bitaw niyo niya ang katong wala naka-login o naka-appeal sa live stream. You can watch this video later. Okay? So, let us start. Good morning sa mga naka-login. I hope nakapamahaw na mo. Okay, si RB Joy, Naana, very good. Okay, for week number 4, ang title sa atong topic is the three purposes of the Constitution and its classification. Okay, so this is our week 4 topic. Ano siya? Atong learning outcomes. Learning outcome number 1. Satisfactory. Explain isa ito sa change. Satisfactorily explain the purposes of the Constitution. And then learning outcome number 2 is to differentiate the classifications of the Constitution. Okay? So, muna siya inyong learning outcomes for today. So, overview. Okay, atong overview sa aning topic. The Philippine Constitution can be defined as the written instrument by which the fundamental powers of the government are established, limited, and defined, and by which these powers are shared equally by the three branches of the government for the safe and useful exercise for the benefit of the citizens of the Philippines. Okay? So, what are the three branches of the government? Kinsa may makatubag? Question number 1 for you to answer. Question 1. Name the three branches of the Philippine government. Okay? Sa mga nakalagin, please answer question number 1. Name the three branches of the Philippine government. Sa katong wala nakalagin sa YouTube, nakasulod sa atong group chat sa Facebook, naa dito ang question number 1 for you to answer. Okay? Katong naa sa group chat, question number 1, name the three branches of the Philippine government. Okay? So we have answer from Miss Unishi, legislative, executive, and judicial. Okay, very good. Nanay naka-answer og correct. Okay. Lizelle, legislative, RB Joy, executive. Jade Salazar, Kawalawa. Say Kawalawa. Wala siguro. Okay, pero makita ra ni mo niya Miss Salazar if kusog-kusog na imong signal. Okay, kompleto na ang answer ni Miss Salvo, executive, legislative, and judicial. Yes, pwede na niya makakita kag kusog ng signal, Miss Salazar. Kay automatic na siya ma-post sa YouTube na channel nako and then i-post nako sa inyong group chat and sa akong Facebook account. Okay? So answer from Miss Lagari, executive, legislative, and judicial. Same answer, yes. Okay, so muna siyang tulo ka mga branches of the government. Okay, Miss Millet, wala yung signal. Okay, pero mag-post, mag-view rin mo later on if kusog-kusog na imong signal, Miss Pabiliore. Ugoy, nawala ang signal ni Miss Lagari. Kuha lang yapon mo sa tong group chat kay ako man ipang post dito. Okay? Para sa participation. So kung nakoy questions nga i-mention diri sa YouTube, akong i-post dito sa group chat sa Facebook. Okay? So very good, naka-answer mo. Executive, legislative, and judicial. Ato na siyang matako later on sa atong course. Okay? Ugoy, hapit na daw ma-expire. Sige, ato paspasun karon taon. Okay, so definitions of terms. Muna siya para masagdan before ta mag-start formally sa atong lecture. So definition of terms. Philippines, officially it is legally known as the Republic of the Philippines and it is an archipelagic country in Southeast Asia. And then we have here the word constitution. It is the supreme and fundamental law of our country, the Philippines. And then we have the term purpose. It is the goal that should be attained by our constitution through the three branches of the government. Okay, so let us formally start sa atong i-mention na topic kanina. So first, we have the three purposes of the Constitution. So purpose number one. The Constitution is to prescribe the permanent framework of a system of government. So question number one. So this is the explanation. The Philippine government takes place in an organized framework of a presidential, kaya naman tayo president, and then we have representative, kaya naman tayo mga congressmen, congresswomen, and democratic republic, whereby the president is both the head of state and the head of government. This system revolves around three separate and sovereign yet interdependent branches. So mga ni katong gi-question ako ganina, we have the legislative branch. It is the law-making body. And then we have the executive branch, the law-enforcing body. And lastly, the judicial branch, the law-interpreting body. Okay? So good morning to Miss Crystal Jane Perater. Welcome to our online class. So let us continue. Executive power is exercised by the government under the leadership of the President of the Philippines. So karon ang atong head sa executive department is our President Duterte. And then legislative power is vested in both the government and the two-chamber Congress, the Senate or the upper house or the upper chamber, and the House of Representatives, the lower chamber or the lower house. And then judicial power is vested in the courts with the Supreme Court of the Philippines as the highest judicial body. So that is purpose number one sa atong constitution. So let us proceed sa purpose number two. Okay, so before we move on, good morning ni Paulo o ni Shaina Simitara. Welcome to our class. And to Miss Rubilin Makiling, good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining our class. Okay, so let us continue. Purpose number 2. The Constitution is to assign several departments their respective powers and duties of the government. So, muna siyang number 2. And then, ang explanation, executive power is the power to execute, enforce, and administer laws. This is headed by the President and the Vice President, who are elected by direct popular votes and serve for a term of 6 years. The President appoints his cabinet to help him administer the functions of the government. The cabinet is made up of various departments with specific functions and headed by secretaries. Legislative power is the power to make laws and to frame public policies. The Senate President is the head of the upper chamber or the upper house, while the lower chamber or house is led by the Speaker of the chamber or of the house. Judicial power is the power to interpret laws, to determine their meaning, and to settle disputes that arise within the society. This branch of government consists of uh, systems of courts with the Supreme Court as the highest and is headed by the Chief Justice. Okay? So muna siya ang sa executive power, legislative power, and judicial power sa purpose number 2 sa atong constitution. And then we have purpose number 3. The Constitution is to establish certain first fixed principles on which government is founded. So this is the explanation. As mentioned in purpose number 1, the Philippines is a republic with a presidential form of government, which has 3 co-equal branches: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. As mentioned above, the 3 branches are co-equal, but each is supreme in its own sphere. This means that each branch of the government cannot intervene in the domain of another. The executive branch limits itself in implementing the law. The legislative branch limits itself in making laws, and the judicial branch limits itself in interpreting and applying the laws. These branches of the government cannot delegate the powers vested or conferred to them. Again, these branches of government cannot delegate, okay, cannot delegate the powers vested of conferred to them. Okay? This means that no other entity or body exercise the powers of the government except those which are authorized. The essence of having 3 co-equal branches is for checks and balances. Okay, so question number 2 for you to answer. Question number 2. Name Okay, question number 2 for you to answer before tayo mo proceed sa next part sa atong online class. Name at least 5 departments of the executive branch. Okay? Question number 2. I will be posting this sa inyong group chat. Question number 2. For participation ni siya sa wala naka-appeal sa atong online class. Ma-view ra nila later on. So, nana dito na post ang question number 1 and question number 2. Name at least 5 departments of the executive branch which is headed by our Philippine President, President Duterte. Okay? So, I am waiting for your live chat answers and comments before ta mo proceed sa next topic. Okay? So, kinsa ang maka-answer first? Ano to? RB Joy, Professor for a Law. Sa asa na nga part? Okay, ang question is, name at least 5 departments of the executive branch. Daghan man tag mga department sa executive branch. Name at least 5. Okay, education, particularly unsa nga education. So, let us say Department of Education. So, muna siya Department of Education. Okay, so Miss Onishi, can you name me kinsa ang secretary sa Department of Education under sa executive branch of the government? Okay, please research. Again, at least 5 departments ang inyong mahatag. Naman tayo mga more than 10 departments. Miss Banaag, we don't have federal laws. Kaya dili man ta federal government. Yes, ang chapter na Miss Salvo, naka-answer na si Miss Onishi sa Education, Department of Education to be particular. Sa paubang department, gawa sa Department of Education. Department of Labor. Kulangan og usa ka word, Miss Lagari. Health and Human Services, according ni Banaag. So, asa man ang department na belong ang Health and Human Services? Or kung imo siyang i-separate, asa nga department, unsa ang name sa department sa ana imong dimension? Pwede na siya duha ka buok. Okay, we have Department of Agriculture. So, para ma-simplify itong answer ni Miss Banaag, we have the Department of Health. And then, kung Human Services, serve man po ng DOH, Department of Health. Serve po ng Department of Education. Serve po sa people and mga Department of Agriculture. Election and voting, that is not the answer kay ang nagkuhan ng election and voting is not a department but a commission. So, ang answer na is Commission on Elections or COMELEC. So, that is not part of the answer, ang election and voting. I-mention mo ang COMELEC or Commission on Elections. We are only talking about the departments. So, departments and commissions are two different parts of the government. Okay? Okay, Miss Banaag, grabe mong research o Department Homeland Security. So, na-equivalent ang Philippines, ana. Kaya murag ka na yung mag-research dito na sa outside the Philippines. Okay? So, ang equivalent sa Department Homeland Security is the uh, Department of Defense. Okay? Okay? So we have answers from Shaina and Abdusio, Paulo. Transportation and Department of Housing and Urban Development. So I think sa Department of Transportation, naana siya, LTFRB and then LTO. Okay, so there are like, I will count kung pila ka department ang naa sa executive department, executive branch, I mean. So we have the Department of Agrarian Reform, Department of Agriculture, Department of Budget and Management, Department of Education, Department of Energy, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Department of Finance, Department of Foreign Affairs, Department of Health, Department of the Interior and Local Government, Department of Justice, Department of Labor and Employment, Department of National Defense, Department of Public Works and Highways, Department of Science and Technology, Department of Social Welfare and Development, Department of Tourism, Department of Trade and Industry, Department of Transportations and Communications. So muna tanan ang department na naa sa atong executive department. Okay? So napo dito na mention katong Housing and Urban Development Coordinating Council. So dili siya department but it is a council. Okay? HUDCC. So dili siya department but it is a council. Okay, so I will be posting katong ipang mention. With their websites. Sa lower pa nga parts, sa mga departments na ang kong gi-mention. So that is the chart of organization sa anak nga sa mga anak nga branch. So, dito sa taas, president ang nag-head. Taas-taas ni siya. So nana siya sa internet, please dili na nako i-post dire kay 200 letters lang. Pero pwede na ko i-post dito sa inyong GC. Okay? So wait lang ta kadali. departments lang ha. Ayaw na tong mga Office of the Vice President, ayaw na tong Housing Urban Development, kay Council man to siya. Ayaw na ang Executive Office, ayaw na ang Presidential Spokesperson or Office of the Cabinet Secretary. Let us go directly to the departments. Okay, kay mura na siya akong atong topic. Okay, so sa group chat na ko i-post kay unlimited ang characters na pwede ma-send dito. Okay? So, na dito. We have the Department of Agrarian Reform, paingon sa Department of Transportations and Communications. Okay? So, na-mention na dito. I have here. Okay, so dili siya Department of Homeland Security. Kuha na siya. So, ato diri is Department of National Defense. Department of Interior and Local Government. So, muna siya ang DILG. So, let us continue. Ako nang i-post sa group chat ang katong mga departments under sa Executive Department. Okay? Okay, so let's proceed sa next na topic. So, classifications of the Constitution. Kung siya ang atong topic. Again, sa katong mga wala pa nakalagin, if naminaw mo sa audio, ang mga departments, dito na kong i-post sa group chat. Kay unlimited ang characters dito nga pwede nyo magamit. While there is a YouTube live streaming is only 200 characters. Okay, let us proceed. So, classification number 1. So, classification number 1, written and unwritten constitution. A written constitution is when the precepts are embodied in one document or set of documents. Broad, brief, and definite are the essential qualities of a written constitution. It is broad when it covers all persons and things within the territory of the state. It also embodies the past to reflect the present and to anticipate the future. It is brief when it confines to basic principles to be implemented with legislative details more adjustable to change and easier to amend. Lastly, it is definite when it is clear, not ambiguous, and not confusing. So that is written constitution. So, ang unwritten na po, so unwritten constitution consists of rules which have been integrated into a single concrete form but scattered in various sources. It can be found in statutes of fundamental characters, judicial decisions, commentaries of publicists, customs and traditions, and certain common law principles. Okay, so that's classification number 1, written and unwritten constitution. Classification number 2, conventional and cumulative constitution. So a conventional constitution is when it is formally struck off at a definite time and place following a conscious or deliberate effort taken by a constituent body or ruler. It is also known as the enacted constitution because the constitution is created from the process of debate and deliberation intended to codify the founding ideals of a given society. Conventional constitution is one of the three methods to amend the constitution of the Philippines. The others are the People's Initiative or a Constituent Assembly. So kining People's Initiative murag kani siya karon inyong nadunggan siguro sa mga TV, particularly sa ABS-CBN. Ginagamit nila ang People's Initiative para makakuha sila balik sa ilang franchise. So muna ilagi gamit para ma-amend tong na-desisyonan sa legislative department. Kaya wala man sila natagaan o renewal sa ilang franchise. Okay? So let's go to cumulative constitution. A cumulative constitution, on the other hand, is when one is the result of political evolution. It is not done at any specific time, but changing by accretion rather than a systematic method. The Constitution here is based on the collection of established customs, traditions, court actions, and etc. over some period of time. It is also known as evolved constitution. So, kalainan nila do ha. Take note mo adto. Ang difference sa conventional and cumulative. And then we have classification number 3. A constitution may be rigid or flexible. Okay, a rigid constitution is when it can only be amended by a formal and usually difficult process. A.V. Dicey defines a rigid constitution as one under which certain laws, called constitutional laws or fundamental laws, cannot be changed in the same manner as ordinary laws. So naay differentiation kung unsa ang constitutional law from ordinary laws. Okay? So, a rigid constitution set forth specific legal constitutional obstacles to be overcome before it may be amended or before siya ma-change. Such special approval of the people by referendum, a supermajority of special or special majority in the legislature or both. This constitution is also known as an elastic constitution. So unelastic meaning dili siya ma-stretch dali-dali. That's why it is also called rigid. Kay rigid man siya. Dili siya mabinat-binat diretso. Okay? So let's go to the flexible constitution. A flexible constitution, on the other hand, is one in which the legislature may amend the constitution's content and principles through use of the ordinary legislative process. This constitution is also known as elastic constitution. So different siya sa unelastic or sa rigid. Kini siya dali ra siya ma-change. Pwede ra siya ordinary nga legislative process. A flexible constitution can keep pace with time. It can successfully adapt to changes which take place with the passage of time. If there take place changes in environment and condition, necessary changes can be inserted in the constitution through easy amendment. A flexible constitution discourages or prevents rebellion and revolution. A flexible constitution can deal with any type of emergency. Okay, so that's for our classifications sa atong constitution. So we have three. I will repeat. Number two, conventional and cumulative constitution. And lastly, number three, rigid and flexible constitution. So we are now in the part sa conclusion. Happy ko tamahuman. Okay, so conclusion. Before we end our online class, so muna siya ang conclusion. Okay, so conclusion. In general, the written constitution is better than an unwritten one. Most of the countries of the world have opted for written constitution. The only important exception is Britain, in which the administration is mainly based on customs and traditions. The constitution should not be very rigid or very flexible. So in the middle lang ta. Okay, it should not be very rigid or very flexible. Some parts of the constitution of India are rigid and some parts of it are flexible. There is thus balance in the constitution. The constitution of a country should be based on its local condition, history, and culture. One constitutional blueprint cannot fit all countries. So, kada country daw, lahi-lahi sila og constitution. Kaya lahi-lahi man ilang mga customs. Lahi-lahi ang ilang mga traditions. Lahi-lahi ang ilang history. Lahi po ang ilang condition dito. Okay? And then for your learning activities, muna siya ang inyong assignment na inyong ansiran. So deadline ani is next week. Thursday gihapon next week. So assignment. Let me post your assignment. Number 1. Na instructions ani ha. Kasi dili ma-follow ang instruction. Okay, thank you Miss Jade. Kay nakisakay siya sa rela gikan sa Kiburo going sa market para makasignal. Very good. I appreciate your actions para maka-appeal sa atong online class. Thank you. And then, so muna siya ang question number 1 sa inyong assignment. Explain the importance of the three purpose of the Constitution in 50 to 100 words. And assignment number 2. Again, in 50 to 100 words, explain the differences of the Constitution's classifications. Okay, so that is your assignment for week number 4. I will repeat in 50 to 100 words ni siya tanan. So number 1, again, minimum ang 50 words, maximum ang 100 words. So each number na siya or each question, 50 to 100 words. So now assignment number 1, explain the importance of the three purpose of the Constitution. Assignment number 2, explain the differences of the Constitution's classifications. Okay. So here is our module, our online class summary. Online class summary for week number 4. Week 4. First, number 2, then number 3. The Philippines has three. The Philippine Constitution has three purposes. The Constitution is to prescribe the permanent framework of a system of government. As a summary, the Philippines, the Philippine Constitution has 6 applications. Okay, so Monisha, number 1 and number 2, we have the written and unwritten Constitution. Then number 3 and 4, we have the conventional and cumulative Constitution. And then lastly, number 5 and number 6, we have the rigid and flexible Constitution. Okay? So these are my references para pwede rin mo maka-research online or sa book kung gusto mo magbasa ahead or mag-review. So that is the book that I use sa aning topic. And then mga online sites. Muna siya. Para maka-review mo kung naamoy time, mabasa ninyo. So, muna yung gahatag kong reference. And then, katutong list of government departments under the executive department, muna siya ang site. Okay? So, any questions before na to i-end ang atong online class? Miss Anishi, sir, pwede sa group chat i-send ang link? Yes, pwede. Ako i-send later pagka umananing online class na to. Katutanan link ako ihatag. Okay? So, any clarifications? Any questions? We still have at least 8 minutes before mag-9 according sa akong orasan sa laptop. Okay, if wala na, pwede na makalag out. Wala na yung mga questions or clarifications. Okay, if you want to log out, please comment, sir, I am logging out. Miss Onishi, ako nang gihinay-hinay pagbutang sa akong group chat ang mga links sa mga sites nga akong nagamit sa atong lecture for week number 4. And ang book nga akong gigamit dili lang ko sure if available online kining book nga akong gigamit. Ang author is si Nagnag PM. Mhm. Okay, Miss RB Joy, thank you for logging in and nagadto lang gid ka sa market para makita og signal. Thank you. And keep safe kay daghan ra batag reports karon sa mga natakdan sa COVID. So keep safe and God bless. And then we have Miss Lagari. Thank you for logging in and joining our class. God bless you too. And Miss Onishi, thank you. I mean, si Jade Bryle. Okay, thank you for logging in and joining our class. Also to Paulo and Crystal Jane and Shaina. Thank you for logging in and joining our class. God bless and stay safe and keep safe. Jade Salazar. Okay, God bless you too. Keep safe and God bless. And to Miss Pabiliore, don't forget to pass your assignments next week. Miss Makiling, thank you for logging in and joining our class. Ako pag-post ang inyong assignment para sa katong wala naka-appeal sa live streaming. Assignment number 2. Okay, assignment number 2. In 50 to 100 words, explain the differences and the Constitution's classification. So, posted na siya sa inyong GC. Sa katong wala naka-appeal sa live stream, pwede pa ninyo ma-view later kay mag-post na siya sa atong YouTube channel and i-post po na ko ni sa akong Facebook account and maghatag ko og link sa inyong group chat. Okay? Mhm. Okay, Miss Millet, noted sir. And then thank you, Miss Salvo Lizelle, for logging in and joining our class. Ako nang gi-post sa inyong group chat ang assignments as well as katong questions number 1 and questions number 2 for your participation. So private message lang sa answer sa inyong question number 1 o question number 2. And then ang assignment dito sa akong uh, email ad isend. Okay? Or messenger kung wala mo email. Or maglisod mo og send sa email ad. Okay? Okay, I will end the live stream in a few minutes. See you all. Okay, thank you everyone. God bless and keep safe.